but many of you know this is one of my favorite talking points. Folks, this is EcoFlow, and it is EcoFlow Month as we celebrate so many years together as the original launch partner for a brand that changed the world. When I say generator, what do you think of? The first thing in your mind when I say generator, you're probably imagining something that's kind of big, that's kind of bulky, that's messy, that's noisy, that needs gasoline. Now, wipe that image from your head and replace it with this. This is EcoFlow Delta 3. It's a next generation power station. If the power goes out for more than just a few minutes, you're going to be okay. You will want for nothing. If the power goes out for multiple hours, or God forbid, multiple days, you're going to feel like you're living in a normal sense because we can still power the refrigerator, which means all that food is not going to spoil. The television so we can see the news. That fan so we can stay cool on a hot summer's night. That medical device that somebody in the family might be so dependent on. This is the Delta 3, and we are really proud to have this value. We worked with EcoFlow to shock the world. And we did a week ago. Listen to this. I did all the math. I scribbled it down. Right. EcoFlow by itself is $700, right? $700 machine, full-size appliances, 13 different charging ports, the AC sockets, the USB-C, the USB-A, you name it, it's got everything. And this is the newer technology, the newest generation. By itself is normally $700. We're offering it at $519, so a great value right there. But here's where the smart money is. Everybody was buying the bundle. Now, what's the bundle? Well, the bundle is the EcoFlow power station, again, $700. It's the solar panel that's right in front of me, $450. Why do I want a solar panel? Well, I'm glad you asked. That is a way to continually charge your EcoFlow, right? So if you have a gas generator and you run out of gas, what happens? Well, it doesn't generate any power anymore. If this runs out, we can charge it with the rays of the sun. So what did we say? We said 700 here. We said 450 there. Oh, the Wagon. Look at this Wagon. So now if you need to wheel this around, you can. This is a beautiful Wagon, by the way. It even collapses down. It has its own protective cover as well. There is, price-wise, another 160. The shipping is free, that's 50. So 7 for 50, 160, you're at $1,360. Well, we are basically half of that at $619.99. So for just $100 more, you get the bundle. There's a lot of information here. And as we get into hurricane season in Florida, as we talk about wildfires and floods and all these horrendous natural disasters that so many of us have lived through over the past couple of years, you've got to be prepared. Well, the person I've been listening to for over 7 years now is Mr. Justin Hyatt. He is a great voice of reason and a great voice of wisdom when it comes to having something like this. Justin, I want to say, first of all, happy EcoFlow Month. This is the best month of the year, my friend, to buy any EcoFlow product.
It is. We kicked off this whole month with a crazy deal, and then we did a Today Special. We won't have another TS for probably another 2 or 3 months. We kick it off now. Why? Because it is June, and that's the beginning of hurricane season, and it's really ultimately Emergency Preparedness Month. But we have now coined it EcoFlow Month. Over 7 years, as Adam, you just said, and I feel like I hear a hint of an English accent that you might have probably picked up while you were over in the UK. But why do we do it now? We do it now because we need to get prepared now because we don't know what tomorrow brings. And what are we getting prepared with? We're getting prepared with something that didn't exist before. You know, Adam is talking about it. When we think of backup power, what have we always thought of? We thought of this, a generator. That's all, a gas or propane generator, but that hasn't been for everybody. Do you know what has become the go-to for everybody? EcoFlow. And when we say for everybody, the Delta 3 is the perfect size for all of you watching right now because it's not too big, it's not too small. It is the cliche of saying it's the Goldilocks size, which is why we have the Wagon included, which we've never done before. So now you can go camping, you can go glamping. You can prevent feeling when you are at home like you are camping, and don't stare in the sun like that guy does. But now you can have your solar panel because now you can actually recharge your power station even when you are out of power consistently day after day. And we don't really consider those moments until we're actually living through them or we've lived through them before. So how do you get prepared for those moments? You now watching have an opportunity to pick up something that you didn't maybe know existed before. EcoFlow is the #1 go-to power station brand here at HSN. The #1 go-to power station brand, frankly, in the United States. And not only in the United States, we are in 140 different countries now, and not only 140 different countries, nearly 5 million customers as well. Wow. So whether it's cooking for the family, having a blender available to be able to make those smoothies like we just had at today's special just a couple days ago of the Omega juicer, all of these different conveniences. And I want to show you, we don't have the refrigerator here in the studio, but I want you to really consider right now, if you don't have a generator, how would you be able to not only keep your food cool in your refrigerator, but also be able to cook your food? I've got an air fryer right here, and I'm just going to set this. It's at 370 degrees. Now, this could be out tailgating. This could be in your home, and I'm using something now that doesn't need to be 20 feet away from my home. It could be right there in my kitchen, on my kitchen island, because at 28 pounds, this is the perfect size for all of you who are considering, how am I going to cook my food? This Delta 3 will power up 99% of your home appliances, and all you need to do is press one button, plug in your air fryer, plug in your microwave, plug in your toaster oven, plug in anything that you have in your kitchen right now, even including that full-size refrigerator, and you will be able to power it up. Right now, I can be able to cook food at roughly about 1,400 watts of power for almost an hour, about 40 minutes right now with my EcoFlow. And Adam, one of the greatest things about the Delta 3, it's not only all of the things that it can power, which we're going to show you right now, it's how long it can last, because it's the latest and greatest battery technology. So when you think about all of the things in your life right now, whether it's in the kitchen, living room, home office, wherever it might be, from the TVs to the routers to the CPAP machines and all of these things in between, you know and now have the confidence that it will power that, but you have the confidence that you'll be able to use it, which ultimately, that's one of the most important things about getting EcoFlow at home. That right there is the peace of mind that we talk about.
There's so much to say as well, and I think, you know, when you think of HSN, we think of certain things. You know, we think of Joy Mangano, right? We think of Andrew Lessman. We think of, you know, origami. We'll be talking about origami in the next hour. In these past 7 years, we now really always talk about EcoFlow because they have established themselves as just the premier leader. They are the #1. It's the most preferred brand in the world when it comes to this technology. And the folks at EcoFlow give us the best in terms of pricing and value. Nobody else even comes close to it in terms of what we're able to offer. Remember, the bundle is a $1,400 package that we're doing for $619.99. If you Google it or you search it and you price it up, the $400 on the solar panel, the $700 on the EcoFlow itself, the Wagon as well, it just makes all the sense in the world. So I'm conscious tonight that, you know, I don't spend too much time talking about one thing or the other because I'm torn. We have to talk about how valuable this is in terms of what it does for us, in terms of protecting ourselves, our loved ones and our families, because that is most important. But we also have to talk about how valuable this is in just terms of the price, the cost, because it's so tiny versus what you will spend the rest of the year. Now remember, this is an encore. We struck gold with this as an encore. The price is expiring, it's going away. There's no other opportunity this year to get it at this price. Don't get me wrong, you can still buy it tomorrow and the next day and next week, but you're gonna pay a ton more money. And it's not that you can't buy EcoFlows for $620. You can, but you can't buy this one. You can't buy this bundle at that price. So you take the $620 and you spend it with us today, and in return you get a package that's valued at nearly $1,400. And Justin, I want to be clear about this because EcoFlow makes so many different models. One of the major attractions of the Delta 3 is the massive versatility of all the things that you can power, and also how many of them you can power at the same time, which is brilliant.
It is, and look, if we even consider this in the terms of weight classes, right? We have a lot of different options. One of the greatest things that EcoFlow does is create as many options as possible because it hits different price points for everybody and also different necessities for everybody. But if you've been sitting there and you're saying to yourself, well, I'd love to have one of these, I want to make sure they can power everything. Because if we're kind of going off of, well, what is the difference between this and a generator? Often we'll just look at it and say, well, what's the power difference? Knowing that you can power up to 13 different devices, knowing you can power 99% of your home appliances, that you don't have to have it outside your home. And of course, we're going to compare directly to a gas and propane generator. I want to show you just simplicity though, right? Having it in your home means I don't have to worry about going outside in the middle of a storm, whether it's cold and it's 3 feet of snow or it's raining and high winds, which we experience here in Florida. You adapt to the places that you live. Now, what I have right here is I'm just going to really show you from the very beginning. It's one press of a button, that's it. One touch of a button. The maintenance is making sure it stays charged. Now, when you look at this, you'll notice, and Adam, I know you'll speak to this, the extra battery that is sitting on top of it. So anything that I plug in, it's going to show exactly how much longer I can actually power everything up. So we have right here a light and a fan. And with the light and the fan, I'll show you really quickly. We've got 1, 2, 3, 2-prong AC outlets. We've got 1, 2, 3, 3-prong AC outlets. We also have this beautiful LCD display. I'm just going to go ahead and plug everything in. And everything is the light and the fan. You might say, well, okay, are those true necessities? Let me tell you, when you are in the middle of summer and it's middle of the night, how nice it would be to have the creature comforts of a light and a fan, to know that you're not sitting in a hot home anymore. And it's not just a fan. And Adam, you and I have been doing this for a long time. We could have a portable air conditioning unit right here. It could be a window AC unit. It could be a heating blanket or space heater, all these things right here. And it's whisper quiet, 30 decibels, you don't even hear it. But now we've got that light in the fan. And I want to just keep that shot because I'm just going to go ahead and turn this button off real quick so you can see that light and fan turning off. Again, one press of a button to turn the light and fan back on. How long would it take you right now in your home, if you even have a generator, to go out to the generator, to fill it up with gas, to get it going? And if you don't feel confident enough to go and do that yourself, what will you feel confident to do? This is about the confidence of making a decision now and getting from the #1 brand. The extra battery though, we're showing a light and a fan roughly about almost 2 days. That means I can have, again, with the extra battery connected, almost 2 days of just pure light in the fan. So I love knowing that we have the option of getting double the power, but not double the cost with having the extra battery on top of here. So if you are considering that, I definitely would think about doing that because those are limited as well.
What I love about EcoFlow is that they allow us to grow with it, right? You might have a big home, you might have a small home, you might have a big family, it might just be you. And I do want to talk about that for a second because that is really important. Look, when something's happening, you know what it's like. It might be 9 o'clock on a Saturday night and you're watching your favorite TV show and the power goes out and you know, it's uncomfortable. You look out the window and you see what's happening down the road. If the power stays out, it starts to get scary. And I do want to take a moment to think about anybody who is home alone, who lives by themselves. You know, when we face a disaster or we face a situation that's uncomfortable, if you have somebody there with you, whoever it may be, you can lean on that person and you can get through it together. But I do want to absolutely highlight everybody who is watching right now that does live alone. Because if there is a situation, a natural disaster, an emergency, and you're plunged into darkness, that is scary. And that's hard, especially if you don't have somebody there that you can lean on, that you can bounce off of, that you can hold their hand and get through it together. I want you to know that over these 7 years with EcoFlow, what we have seen is person after person after person say, listen, with the EcoFlow, I'm not alone. I have it there. And if there is a situation, there is an emergency, I know I'm okay. I know I can turn the light on so I can see. I know I can turn the microwave on so I can eat. I know I can turn the fan on so I can stay cool. That's important. And it's one of the things that often goes unsaid, but it has to be said. This is here to help us. It's here to protect us. It's here as a backup plan. It's here as an insurance policy. And God help us, it wasn't here 10 years ago. You couldn't buy something like this. It didn't exist. But now in 2025, this technology, which is portable and powerful and easy and user-friendly, it is here. So look, we can go down that rabbit hole, and it's an important one for sure. What I have to express is that it's over. This was a today's special a week ago. We hit the jackpot by having this encore. I can save you a massive amount of money if you order it today, but we are ending it in 19 minutes and 4 seconds. I'd rather I saved you the money. I'd rather you got a more powerful unit than a less powerful unit. Again, $619, you can get EcoFlow, but you can't get this EcoFlow set. Now, where are we standing? I know we're getting kind of close to that 4,000 mark, so we're up against it. 18 minutes left, 3,800, nearly at the 4,000 marker. So it's anybody's guess what happens. I'm not worried about the EcoFlow by itself. I am obviously worried about the bundle, because out of all the orders placed, over 90% of them have been in the bundle. So one last time, because I know folks are starting to place their orders. Why the bundle? The bundle because it's just all the sense in the world. The bundle gets you the $700 EcoFlow, but it also gets you the solar panel. That solar panel is $450. It is a powerhouse, using the sun's energy to power your EcoFlow. We will include it. It's only $100 more, but it's valued at $450 more. But not only do we give you the solar panel, you're also going to get the Wagon. This I've never seen before. It's a beautiful high-end wagon. What that means is, you know, when you are not using your EcoFlow, you can put it in here, you can store it in here, and you can move it around the house if you don't want to have to carry it. I'm thrilled that we're including that option. Again, you might live home alone. That's nice to have that helping hand there with you. I think, Justin, ultimately, it's a situation where, you know, there is no downside to owning an EcoFlow. You're going to buy it, you'll buy it once, and then you've always got it there if you need it.
And when will you need it? At any moment in time. It doesn't only have to be an emergency. That's one of the greatest things, and we talked about it, and you mentioned it, Adam, as an investment or insurance policy. When you invest in something like this, what are you investing in? You're investing in something, of course, that's going to give you the ultimate peace of mind. You know, no matter what, in an emergency, you have something. But what about when it's not an emergency? How else can I use this? For all the fun things that life has and offers, whether it's camping, whether it's tailgating, whether it's going to the backyard, whether it's just having the convenience of having outlets right by you on the couch. All these different ways that you'll be able to use EcoFlow, even if we put it in a sentence, and I removed EcoFlow from that sentence and we put in generator, it wouldn't sound right. So when you think about how am I going to power up the internet? How am I going to power up a television? How am I going to power up the television outside so we can watch the big game that's going to be coming up outdoors? What about tailgating? I don't want to say, hey, let's grab the generator and go tailgating. No, nobody says that. But you know what they do say? Let's grab our EcoFlow. Hey, let's go camping and let's bring the generator with us so we can't hear the outdoors. No, nobody says that. What do they say? Let's grab an EcoFlow. All of these different ways that you will have EcoFlow in your life, it's life-changing, and as we've seen, it can be life-saving, because you can now use all of this exact investment for not just the fun, but for the emergencies. When you are out of power and you rely on the medical devices like your CPAP machine. Maybe it's a dialysis, oxygen machine. Adam and I have been talking about this for 7 years, and through those 7 years, it's not just our ideas. These are your stories and how you use them, because this is what you need in your life. And you know what we all need? Outside of just some, affirmation and love, we need power. We need electricity, because when we prioritize things in our life, whether it's food and water, power is right there. And you know what food and water needs today? It needs power. And just thinking about Wagon, I see you with the Wagon, Adam. Did I tell you that was a nice Wagon? But here's the thing. Can you imagine the person who invented the Wagon right now to know that a power station exists? Something that can power a whole entire home, and the same type of technology that you see in electric vehicles, that battery technology right here. And you had said something as well, Adam. It's the longevity. Not only is it how much power it's going to give you, it's the way that it not only will change your life this year, but next year and the year after and the year after, because you are getting the latest and greatest battery technology, meaning if you were to deplete this battery and recharge it once a day, it would take you not 10 years, because that's what we said last year, but this one's different. This is the Delta 3. It will take you 11 years if you depleted and recharged it every single day for the next 11 years before this power station only charged from 0 all the way up to 80%. So you talk about longevity. That's why you want the latest and greatest. And frankly, Adam, that's why you want it from the #1 brand right now in the world of power stations. So yes, we can show you fancy videos, but ultimately, you know what this is? It is the confidence, and it is having, ultimately, the backing of all of the different reviews from our customers here at HSN saying how much they love this power station. And frankly, almost all of them, in fact, all of the power stations we have on HSN as well.
We're taking final orders on the bundle. Again, we won't sell out of just the EcoFlow alone at $519 and change, but the bundle is last call. So if that's the way you want to go, I'd start to order in the next 5 or 6 minutes just to guarantee you get it. Obviously, with a $1,400 nearly retail value, it's a huge saving. And I think one of the reasons why, you know, EcoFlow has been so successful on HSN, other than Justin's incredible presentations, is the fact that we offer this flex pay. And, you know, our good friends at QVC call it easy pay. We call it flex pay. Whatever you want to call it, it is the best way to pay. So you take this essential product and you say, well, we'll break up the price. We'll do it over 5 months. And that makes it so much more affordable. It means I can get it home for a fraction of what I would have to spend. You know, $124, let's say, on Visa, MasterCard, American Express, or Discover. Heavens, you could use the HSN or QVC credit card and do VIP financing. We're doing the bundle over 18 months. It brings it down to $34 and change. And if you want to apply for the HSN card, you could do it actually right now. If you get approved, you can save $40 off this or anything your heart desires from HSN. So definitely take advantage of that or look into that. But it means that we get it out to you immediately. And honestly, with this product, we needed it yesterday. You shouldn't be without it because anything can happen at any time, as we have seen so much. And I'd rather you got more for your money. I mean, Justin, you know, forgive me for going on about that, but, you know, not everybody realizes that HSN and EcoFlow have this very close partnership. EcoFlow chose HSN, the world's first shopping channel, 7 years ago, to tell the story of what this is and to introduce us to this new technology. And as a result, all these years later, during EcoFlow Month, which is what this is, the best month of the year to buy any EcoFlow product, you guys have given HSN simply the best price we think in America.
This is what we do every single year, every time we have a Today Special. And not only that, to your point, Adam, you can't shop around for this bundle anywhere else. It doesn't exist except for only right here. Because over those 7 years, we've had the opportunity to launch EcoFlow here at HSN. And because we built that relationship, we're able to do exclusive bundles the way that we do it. And you know, one of the greatest things that we're able to do as well is actually show the product. It'd be one thing if you walked into a store right now and you saw it on a shelf and it was in a box, you'd say, I have no idea. But we get to be able to tell the story and actually show you how it works, how it will change your life, how simple it is, how not intimidating it is. You know, I think that's the difference. Because when you certainly can walk into a store and find one of these, and often we'll go to a store because we know that there's a storm coming, or we've lived through 2 weeks of not having power. We think, well, this is the only option that we've got. I love that we're able to do, as you said, and as Andrew Lessman does such a great job of educating, talking about the PSA of how do we get prepared. And when we say that EcoFlow has become the #1 power brand here at HSN, that's a big deal, especially when, as you said, 10 years ago, something like this didn't exist. The only thing that existed was a generator, propane and or gas. But what about all of us who lived in apartments and condos? We didn't have an option. We had to sit there and we had to wait, or we had to evacuate. Well, if this is not an option for you, what is? EcoFlow. Well, if we played the game of this and that, if you looked at this and you said, I don't want that, but I want this, yes, that's what the majority of people would say, because as you said, if you run out of gas, well, then you have no way of powering this up. And you know what goes first? Gasoline, especially in an emergency. Not only the gas cans themselves. And what happens that if you do invest in this generator, you know what it's there for? It's only there for an emergency. Great to have it. But if you don't maintain it, it might not work when you go to use it.
Yeah.
So then what happens? What happens if you can't start this? You need to have options. You need to have alternatives. Even if you own a gas generator, you need to also consider picking up an EcoFlow, because you know what? You can still use your generator to recharge your power station and allow your EcoFlow Delta 3 to power up 99% of the things that are in your home right now, your appliances. And then you don't have to worry about burning through gas. I want to walk through this really quickly, if you don't mind, because I want to just show the display tells you every bit of information that you need, whereas there is no LCD display on your generator. The generator that needs to be 20 feet away from your home, or as your power station that can be right there on your kitchen island, weighing less than 30 pounds. It only needs one button to turn it on and one button to turn it off. That's it. This is showing me my percentage. This little tiny number right on top is going to tell me and calculate exactly from wattage to percentage how many hours and or days that I'll be able to run all of the different things that I plug in. We've got 2 USB-A's, we got 2 USB-C ports for all of our different technology and our electronics. A phone, the open line of communication, sometimes the most simplistic thing that's not so simple. We need to be able to communicate. Now you can, and you have a place to be able to power it up. Now, what if we just want to take it and plug our laptop in, because we have a home office, but we don't want to be stuck in the home office. We want the home office to be the backyard. Now you can do that. What about, again, taking the TV or projector and going to the backyard or the front porch? You have power wherever you go. And then I'll just spin this around, Adam. This is where we're going to recharge the power station. Right here is that little orange port for anybody who's picking up the bundle. That's where you're going to plug your solar panel in, or the DC adapter. And then right here is where you're going to plug it into the wall. We talk about the latest and greatest battery technology. What if you're sitting there right now and you see a storm coming? How long it would take you to recharge one of these power banks, right? Well, your power station can recharge from 0 to 100% in 56 minutes. That is unbelievable when you think about what it used to be. And now, what are we going to power? It is the CPAPs, it's the coffee maker, it's the refrigerator, it's the hair dryer, it's the things that we want, it's the things that we use, it's the things that we use day in and day out. And now you will be able to, even when you don't have power at your home, you still have it with EcoFlow.
You know, if you look at the short list of things that you know, if somebody said to me, listen, can you write a list down of the must-haves I got to get from HSN? I mean, EcoFlow is on that list. But then again, I've been presenting it for so many years, so it's just so second nature to me. I know that there's a lot of folks watching who've never seen this before. They don't know what an EcoFlow is. Is it any good? Should I get one? Yes, 110%. You've got to get one. My main job, I think, is to make sure that this doesn't get lost in the mix. We are doing an encore. The today's special's long gone. It was a week ago. The guys, the team, gave us an encore tonight, this Saturday night, and we're doing it, but the encore ends in 7.5 minutes. I want to save you a ton of money, and I want to make sure that you're not confused by it. If I take there's the $519 for the EcoFlow alone, and there's the $619 for the bundle. My recommendation is the bundle. You pay $100 more, but you get like $900 of extra value. It really makes sense. The reality is, if you take that $620 to any other retailer, online or in store, you can get an EcoFlow. Oh, for sure. But you won't get this EcoFlow. You're going to get one that's a lot less powerful. You know, you might get one that powers the mini fridge, you know, the small fridge. You'll get one that can do maybe a fan, but not an air conditioning unit. If you get this one, full-size refrigerator, we're powering it for hours and hours and hours. Your television, your modem, the laptop, the router, the AC machine, the nebulizer. We had a lady call in. Justin and I mention it every time. She's reliant on a scooter. She gets around the house on a scooter. Well, if the power goes out for 3 days, what are we going to do? Well, she can power it with this. Life-dependent medical devices. What do we do if the power goes out for more than just 20 minutes? We reach for EcoFlow. We're not scared of it. We're not nervous about it. It needs no maintenance. It's no hassle. It's no noise. It's no mess. It's no fumes. We've waited a lifetime for something like this, and it is here. But you know, people will go out tomorrow and spend $2,000 on a traditional generator. And do you know why they do it? Because they don't know that this exists. HSN and EcoFlow for EcoFlow Month, which is every single June, have created the biggest value ever. We believe it is the lowest price in the United States of America. Nobody comes even close to it. So my recommendation obviously is, if you're going to get one, you'd buy this one today. Right, we're T-minus 5 minutes, so we got to end it because it's the end of the hour. So 5 minutes left. It's last call. Producer Kevin, did we hit that 4,000 mark yet? Are we? Oh, okay. So we are over 3,900. So we're at the finishing line. The bundle is available, but now final orders. The EcoFlow by itself, I've got plenty of those, but the bundle, which is the value that's amazed everybody, again, $1,400 nearly, down to $619.99. Justin, the value itself sells it. I mean, you can't say no to this.
You can't. Look with the Wagon, $160, the solar panel, $450, the value of the power station itself. And just listening to what you were saying, and I'm sitting here thinking, there is nothing else that exists like this in the world, and it didn't before. And allowing everybody watching at any age in any home to be able to finally have power at home. I mean, I think that is one of the most amazing things, and not only power and confidence, but then having the mobility, because we've added the Wagon and having the extra wheels and then having the solar panel so that we can put a number to it, but a number doesn't matter. Because when you have it at home and now you have something that you can use to recharge your power station for free using the power of the sun, all of those different things. And if you're picking up the bundle, and Adam mentioned it, an ecosystem, one of the amazing things that we do is we allow your power station to truly grow with you. And what do we mean by that? We also offer the extra battery, which is what I'm showing you right here on top of the power station. So let me show you exactly what I mean. The power station right now is just powering up the light and the fan. And we're showing about 15.7 hours. 15.7 hours. Now, I'm going to plug in the extra battery to the back, and I want you to see what's going to happen. It's going to go from 15.7 hours, so roughly about 16 hours. And then it's going to jump to about 1.3 days. Those are the different things that we talk about. So we're now at 1.2 days. Now, from about 16 hours to 1.2. So what did we essentially do? We just doubled the length in which we can power anything that we plug in, except we didn't double the cost. And when you think about all of the value that you're saving, almost 1 out of 4 of you are not only just picking up the bundle, but you also pick up the extra battery. I highly recommend it. Me, you can look at me as the EcoFlow guy. I'm an EcoFlow customer just like you. And when I am at home, you know, one of the first things that I do is not only charge up my power station, I also charge up my extra batteries, because I don't know how long we're going to be out of power. We were out of power for 3 weeks. I love having my solar panels, but I really, really love having these extra batteries, Adam.
We only have a few dozen left of the extra batteries if you do want one of those. You don't have to buy it today. Of course, it's nice to know that you can grow this system. A lot of people like what Justin says, though, and I understand it. It maximizes it. It expands the amount that you can power and the duration of time that you can power it for. We have a little bit of hold on the phone now as folks place those orders before we run out of time and run out of availability. If you are on hold, bear with us. We're going to get to you as fast as humanly possible. hsn.com, the HSN mobile app. You can scan that QR code on the bottom of the screen. Don't forget FlexPay. It really does make it so affordable. FlexPay costs you nothing in terms of interest or fees. It just means that HSN holds the balance. It's why so many people buy their EcoFlow from us here at HSN. I know you'll love it. I know you'll be thrilled with it. I can only stress, of all the models that we do, the Delta 3, the newest iteration, that new generation. And Justin, just to be clear, for anybody that is out there and maybe, you know, searching and looking and comparing, there is a difference between the Delta 2 and the Delta 3. You might be able to buy the Delta 2 at this price. The Delta 3 at this price is really extraordinary.
Yeah, when we talk about just, you know, why the Delta 3, ultimately you're getting the latest and greatest. There is a difference between a Delta 2 and a Delta 3. It's not just the different style, it is the new latest and greatest battery system that's inside of it. The Delta 2 had about 3,000 life cycles. We've added 1,000 more. We've added at least another year of life to this battery, from 10 to 11 years, powering even more. And we talk about expandability. We do have the extra battery, but you can expand this and quadruple the amount of time that you can power this up with the Delta 3 Pro extra battery, all these different things. When you pick this up and you learn more about your investment,